Hello and welcome back to this Pub Test podcast. I'm your host Fletcher, and here beside me is my co-host Riley.
Yes.
And in second in command is Thomas Santorina.
Okay, you can't call yourself the host and then have a co-host. You're either both co-hosts or you're the host.
No,
and
I'm allowing it.
I'm a little bit above him, and then he's just below me.
As co-host, I think that is perfectly fine.
Yep.
So,
But who are you co with? Because you're not. You're just on your own. You're not the co there.
shut up, dude. I outrank you. Right. I know you're upset. Just leave it alone.
So that means
okay?
I'm third in command because you call me second in command, but Riley would technically be second in command.
We just go off tallest to smallest. Here.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fair.
Yeah.
Okay, I can't argue
Yeah.
that
Work
one.
with height.
I'm a little guy with a big heart. I can't really complain. I can't complain,
you can
but
complain.
I won't.
You complain a lot.
I do. Yeah, I'm a bit of a little weasel.
There's the piece on it.
Pardon?
No.
Cricket this week.
Yes.
FIFA.
First
Here we
fifer
go.
ever.
Yeah, just let him.
I was hoping you would mention that. But yes, we had a good win. We got a bit close towards the end. They were defending 205 and they got to 185 in the end. And took my first career fifer. So
Was your first career fifer?
yeah, never.
Seriously?
So I've taken a couple of fours.
Wow.
Never taken a five. I'm a very much a 2 to 3 man.
I was going to say, you're a measure of consistency.
Yeah, I don't go wickletless very often.
Consistently shit.
No, I don't go.
Booyah!
I don't go wicketless very often, but I'm usually like a 2 to 3 man. So to get a fifer was really cool, and I got the first 4 wickets of the day, so they weren't the cheap wickets. I got 4 of the top 6 out. So
That's a statement.
yeah, and I got the last one. I came in at the end and got but it got a bit close. Like it was at number 11. But it wasn't the biggest cheapie because they were. He came out and started slapping him, and it got a little bit squeaky bum time for a minute there. But
I have a question for you.
Sure.
With the fifth wicket being the number 11 bat, what's the celebration like? Because obviously it's a big celebration, it's a fifer, but at the same time it's a number 11, so that's really tricky.
oh, I let it
It's a
out.
balance.
I didn't like start running around and shit because like when I got my first 2 wickets because I was bowling pass before that, and Macca said one more over, Tommy, and then I got a double wicket maiden at last over. They couldn't catch me. I was running. I was running. I had to wait for them to come celebrate with me. That last one was just a big old,
Glad to finish that.
come on. So yeah, it was a bit of a celebration for number 11, but it was my first one. So I was
No, you got to celebrate it. Resilient recovery player of the week at Northampton.
yes, so happy with that. The player of the week for seniors. I thought Ali, our very own, might trump me there. She made 35 not out and took 2 for.
Wow.
So I thought she was good. If she, our prodigy, upstaged me for the award, I would have fuming.
But is it a fifer?
No, it's not a fifer.
Nope.
So
So bad luck.
against a side that made finals last year, so it wasn't a salad dweller. So very happy with that, boys.
3 wickets for yourself, right?
Yeah, you did good.
Was it 3 or 2?
Mate? Nah,
Two.
two.
Oh, damn.
Sadly, yeah.
Batting well, I heard.
Yeah, it felt good, but then missed a straight one. So that was my Saturday, Fletch. And we skittled off
Yeah.
stump out of the ground. And
demoralising
the
there, but
bowler
that's
yelled out 1 O'Donnell, 2 O'Donnell as
Did
I
he
walked off
actually?
the pitch because he
Bang.
got Luke and myself out.
Oh wow, that's so alpha.
That's
You didn't get Brody?
It didn't get Brody.
That would've been good.
No, Brody batted beautifully. We all got starts, I said, Donald boys, and did not go on with it. So, moral of the day,
That's so alpha for
and we lose. So 2s and 3s and 4s
undefeated.
undefeated. 1s yet to register a win.
Oh, oh yeah, true. You didn't play round 2.
We didn't. We got washed out.
Oh yeah.
But that's okay. Onwards and
moved.
upwards.
Yep. Fixed up the coin toss this week, you boys?
Oh yeah.
Did we win it?
Did you win?
Yeah, we did.
First win for the Wanderer.
We did win.
Thank
We
goodness.
batted first, so I'm almost certainly won. So yeah.
Okay. There you go.
Okay, that's the main takeaway.
Yeah, that is main
Tommy
takeaway.
Fifer.
That's maybe why you won.
Maybe.
There you go.
I want to credit. I know we want to talk about NBA here, but I want to credit the fact I changed my breakfast order for the first time in
You
3
did.
years.
To the cheaper
In
option.
3 years, I've been getting the $40 breakfast, where everyone else has been paying $20, and I'd lowered it by $7.
Lovely.
And
30. Would you say $33 breakfast?
It's like $32 for breakfast, yeah.
Wow.
That's including about an $8 smoothie.
Yes, so if I got a hot chocolate or coffee instead, it'd be down to like mid-20s. But I didn't want to change too much. I want to slowly weed myself off this brekkie. But, I mean, it took 5, so I'm keeping the same brekkie for the rest of the season, or at least till Christmas, and then I'll reassess. But I have to credit that.
Man in form.
Yeah.
Talking about food, now I've got one question. Now, this is you're going to out yourself this week.
Oh, wow.
And then next week we may have some people write in.
Food, okay.
Is this a natural segue?
It is
beautiful.
You've done so well there.
Thank you,
Well
thank you.
done.
I didn't realize because you did warn us that there would be a question on there, but I didn't realize it would be
Yeah,
food,
wow.
not sport.
I thought
related.
sport.
Yeah, so did
Give
I.
us a food, or give us something that you make that is unusual. So I'll start off.
Oh.
Now I have a sandwich. I slap peanut butter in there. That's pretty usual. And then I put strawberry Nesquik in there,
That's gross.
and I eat that.
That's right.
That's vile.
That is fucking
That's
disgusting.
vile.
It's so good. Just you got to make sure you don't put too much strawberry in there because otherwise it just all falls out. That's my unusual. What else?
Sorry. Sorry. Okay, no. Before we go, isn't that just the driest thing you've ever tasted?
That's good.
Strawberry Nesquik.
Yeah, with peanut butter
That
in a
has to be
sandwich.
so
Is it
dry.
like doing
How
the
can you
cinnamon
swallow it?
challenge?
Yeah, I was about to say the same
No,
thing.
it's not like that. It's not like that. It's not like that. It's actually good.
Nah.
Or is it
flesh.
like crystally? It's not like
Once it goes in your mouth and gets saliva, it almost turns like a strawberry Nesquik.
like a paste, man. It'd be pasty.
No, not quite. No, it doesn't go. You don't put that much on there. You're not like eating it out of the.
Or you just just a sprinkle.
You're just
of
like
strawberry
lightly
Nesquik.
powdering on there. Yeah.
Goodness
So
me.
that was my after school
don't
snack.
you have a noodle like a ramen sandwich as well, like 2 minute
Yeah.
noodle sandwich
2-minute
as well?
noodle
That I'm more
bread
okay with.
in the roll, bread
Yeah.
it. Not bread it.
Butter.
Butter it.
Yeah.
Noodles, 2-minute noodles, bang in there. Like drain the water first,
Yeah,
obviously,
yeah.
and then bang the noodles in there.
With veggies, with the veggie packet. Yeah.
And the seasoning. Yeah.
Yeah, that would still fall under the weird category. I'm a fan of it. I'm okay with it, but it would still
It's
fall
actually good.
under the
It's
weird
good.
category.
It's very filling though, because obviously
Yeah.
bread and noodles are two filling things. So,
Yeah.
but what other you two got to come up with something that you eat unusual?
I'm very boring.
What do I eat that's unusual?
I got one. There's one person. I got a couple of it. I can
Yeah.
out, but I don't
Go,
want to out
what?
them too much.
I think you should out them. Let me think for a bit. You out them while I
Okay,
think.
Andy Sharples, obviously a
Yeah.
friend, won our ESPN Fantasy League. He has soy sauce on ice cream.
Oh nah.
I'm pretty
No
sure,
way.
I'm pretty sure it's soy sauce on ice cream. You remember the video? Now I'm unsure, but I'm pretty sure it has soy sauce on ice cream. Unlucky Andy, if you listen to us, you
That's
just got outed.
I'd almost say that's worse than your Nesquik.
Well, apparently it tastes like the chocolate the chocolate thing.
The bitterness of soy sauce
Yeah, no.
on ice cream.
That's vile, Fletch.
I'm sorry.
I don't eat it.
That's,
I don't eat
That's
it.
arguably worse than your one.
I don't eat it. It's Andy.
Now, is this weird to have? Now, this might be weird. I'm very boring, so I don't really.
Hey, just own it, baby.
I love toast with peanut butter and banana.
No. Surely you have butter in there.
Now we argue about this a lot. I don't have butter with peanut butter, and Riley thinks I'm a vile for
You
it.
need butter in there.
Yeah.
It's too like
Toast without butter or margarine is a crime. In
So
my
I go.
opinion. It's so
I probably
dry.
should have butter, but I go peanut butter, banana, maybe a bit of honey or maple syrup. Yeah, that's my go-to.
That's quite nice, actually.
Yeah.
Bit of banana.
Do you think that's weird, Fletch?
I don't eat banana, so it's a bit weird for me.
Yeah, I don't need banana either. Food, can't think of anything, but I can't have OJ if it doesn't have ice in it.
Yeah, that's weird.
Why?
But then it goes.
It
then
goes watered
watery.
down. No, it
It
doesn't.
goes watery.
It doesn't because you just drink it at normal pace, but it's ice cold.
No, okay.
But
it's in the fridge
Hang on.
already.
Yeah, it's in the fridge.
yeah, but it gets colder. It's just beautiful.
then-
But if you
But-
drink it quick enough, then it's, it's
Nah,
not cold.
Nah.
Okay,
It's
it's a
See,
lose-lose.
this is what I'm saying.
It's
You're
a
just not going to be able to sway me.
It's
It
either
just needs
it's either
ice.
not going to be ice cold because you
Correct.
drank it so quickly,
Correct.
or you haven't drunk it quick enough and
It's
it's watery.
watery. Thank you. That's my thoughts exactly.
I'm sorry. I like it the way I like it. A bit of nudie, pulp-free OJ, the blue label, 3 or 4 cubes of ice.
Have it every morning.
That-
It doesn't eat breakfast unless you have it.
That with 2 bits of peanut butter toast, margarine straight away, and then a slop of peanut butter. Big glass of OJ with some ice. Thanks for coming.
That's you idiot.
Thanks for coming. That is
Thanks.
just, that is. Yeah, in terms of food, I reckon. It's a shame that I can't think of one, but
Yeah,
I
next
definitely
week I'll
would
come
have
with
one. Okay, yeah, I'll do that. I'll come next week,
Yeah,
and I'll
well,
let you know.
listeners,
Yeah.
send in if you know someone because I've got a few lined up. One's
Yeah.
your brother, one's my dad. I've got a few people lined up that what they ate was.
Can I out Brody?
Yeah.
He used to have tomato sauce on rice
Oh, I thought it was pasta.
and pasta.
Nah.
Instead of bolognese, you had
Plain.
tomato sauce.
To be fair, I've
Plain
seen that more.
pasta.
I've seen it more and more. I hate it. I'm not saying it's good, but I've seen it on the internet a bit.
Why wouldn't you just have the bolognese sauce? It's
Yeah, I agree.
tomato-based bolognese sauce.
To be fair, Napoli sauce is basically red sauce, and Napoli is popular. But I would never. That's an insult to my heritage. That's an insult to my heritage.
Get the fingers going too.
And actually, yeah, it is. That is actually an insult. So no, I would never.
Oh my
Yeah, that's a good one.
god.
No, but we'll come next week. So I don't have many, but I reckon if I thought about it, I'd have one.
Yeah, 100%.
Read them out or send them in and we'll read them out. You can out your brother, sister, whoever you
Sure.
can
You can out a stranger, I guess.
Out a
Maybe a
stranger.
stranger.
Based off
Yeah.
Tommy's logic, out a stranger.
Add a stranger.
Just
Just go up to
stranger.
random and say, what's your weird food combo? And share it. Compile a list.
All right. We're going to get into the NBA. Well, we're going to do the week that was. We haven't really explained that yet. have we?
Yeah.
So we're going to do the week that was. That's going to be a segment from now on because the footy's done. And that's going to be any sport that's happened during the week. And we're going to talk about it basically. So
It's relevant.
and mainly going to be, well, we know our basketball, we know our basketball. So we're going to probably do most of that. But we got cricket this week. We got MotoGP and what was it? Soccer. So, and then the basketball obviously too. So 4 sports this week we're going to try and get through. So it's going to be a long one.
Yeah, I guess it's dependent on. I think the main one is NBA. So if we have a lot of NBA to cover for the week, then it probably won't be a lot of other sport. I think it's more like we don't want to be dragging NBA stuff out.
Just for the sake of it. I
Correct.
guess.
Especially like this week where the World Cup is a big thing. Chelsea, we don't need to talk about if you don't want to.
Yes, we do.
So
Yes,
I think
we do.
NBA is going to be number one. And you were going to mention, Riley, because you're the editor. Timestamps.
Well, no, Fletcher's the editor, but in terms of like on Buzzsprout, I was going to, for those who don't want to listen to every sport, so someone might not be a cricket fan. They might just want to listen to the NBA and the MotoGP. So what I'll do, once Fletcher's uploaded it, I will go through and put timestamps on when each sport starts. So you can say MotoGP's 43 minutes in, you go straight to 43, listen to the MotoGP recap. Just so you know where your favourite sport is going to be.
I like that.
So that's the plan.
Happy days?
There you go. That's what's going to happen in the next couple of weeks.
Or moving forward, I think it's more than a couple of weeks.
Well, we'll test it a couple of weeks ago.
That's true.
Tommy.
Yeah.
Sorry, Tommy.
Sorry.
NBA. We're going to start with NBA because big news just before it came on. James Harden has been traded to the Los Angeles Clippers, brother's team.
Yes.
He's very happy.
He wasn't originally, though. When I rocked up to cricket, he was filthy. And then he found out what the trade was, and then he was a lot happier.
What the package was.
Yes.
You assumed Terrence Mann was involved.
I assumed one of Man or Powell or both. And I was very, very upset. So
Wow, you actually rate Power that highly.
I just think he is very...
He's a good player.
He's a good player.
He's a good player.
He's a good player for us. He's very important for us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jesus. All right, so what was the trade? Nicholas Batum,
Covington.
KJ Martin.
and then some picks and pick swaps for PJ Tucker, James Harden.
Some random
And
guy
a random
we've heard
fella
of, yeah.
who will not play.
So this is a pretty good trade for Clippers.
Oh.
Fleeced them. Let's be honest here.
Yeah.
Fleeced them.
Yeah.
PJ Tucker's a
Mate.
good role player. Can shoot the three, play good defense.
I was happy enough, absolutely stoked when I found out the package A didn't have Man or Powell. And then again, when I found out that we got PJ Tucker as well as Harden, you could argue in terms of system, we potentially got the 2 best players in the trade.
You definitely got the 2 best players in trade. Nicholas Batum has been nothing since he came to the Clippers.
He can't play like big minutes.
Can't play big minutes. And then, Covington's a nice player, but not PJ Tucker, pretty much. So,
and we have
definitely got the
toyed
2 best
with having a small ball 5. We've tried a Mason Plumlee, for example. We had some big boys. We had Maurice Spates for a little while there back in the day. And it just never worked. So not to say that PJ Tucker is a gun small ball 5, but we've seen him be a very important player in very good playoff teams down the stretch. So I think that's going to be huge. We're going to see some very different lineups for the Clippers, but
What
I'm
do you
very
think?
excited.
We'll talk about this before we go on the podcast. What do you see as a Clippers fan? Their starting 5 is.
Does Russ start?
I personally believe he will go to the bench and we won't see Bones Highland play that much at all.
Do you reckon that, or you want that?
That's what I'd prefer.
But
that's what I would prefer. I can't tell you what will happen, but that's what I want to happen.
See, same. I
want Russ to go
think
to the
that would be
bench.
the best. I see it as the best fit, but I don't see them put him back to the bench. Considering the way he's played at the start of the year, I think they'll try and play both James and Westbrook, and then play Kawhi at the 4 and PG at the 3.
Because,
And it's not really going to work. I don't think it'll work.
And PJ Tucker off the bench seems a bit not counterproductive, but it doesn't seem like it's as effective.
No.
If he plays at 4 alongside Zubac, that looks quite nice to me, personally.
Yeah, and I think rotation-wise, you can have a star player come off the bench and play in that second unit and run that second unit instead of having 4 players trying to run one in a unit. It's it doesn't work. It's almost counterproductive.
Yeah, the one thing I'm still concerned about is bringing in a guy like Harden, you still haven't fixed the issue of this team that's just all isolation, my turn, your turn.
Yeah.
We've almost become more that team.
We talked about that, Fletch.
Yeah.
They've got no one that wants to catch and shoot.
Yeah, so you're just relying on your good players hitting shots. And there's so many games as a Clippers fan where Kawhi and PG score 30 each, but no one else can hit a shot, so we lose. And that problem is still going to be there. So that's why I said Norm Powell is really important, is because sometimes he bails us out coming off the bench going 8 for 10, hitting 4 or 5 threes.
Yeah.
Because no one else off the bench could in our old roster.
Yeah.
You could argue that that's still the case because of what our bench looks like. But yeah, that's the one con that still is in our roster, I would say. That's still a bit of a concern.
The other concern I have is defensively. Now,
Yes.
obviously Harden hasn't played a lick since he got in the league of defense. Russ tries, but he's not extremely good at it. He's tried over the last 2 or 3 years. PJ and Kawhi are your two best scorers, or will be your two first options on offense. I assume they want to take some plays off on the defensive end, but they're your probably two best defenders. So it almost isn't the perfect balance, if you know what I mean, like of what's going on. So that'll be really interesting. Of will guards cut them up? And there's a lot of good guards in our league, so it'll be interesting if guards can cut them up, or will Kawhi step up and play more minutes?
But to be fair, you do see a lot of the time Kawhi and PJ end up guarding the best perimeter players anyway. So whether it is at times, and to be fair, you probably might not see all four of Harden, Westbrook, PJ, and Kawhi playing together as much as we think.
But they're going to be playing that in the crunch time, and they're going to start the game.
True.
So in the biggest moments, that's the four you're going to see.
It's a good point. Yeah. So there is a chance that defensively we are really, really poor. We have talent there in terms of PJ and Kawhi, but if they're not healthy,
well, that's
what you lose. There's not that depth elsewhere on the bench. So, and Bones Highland, not a good defender either. So
no, not really known for it, is it?
No. But
They've got on here on the ESPN roster. They've got starters as James, PJ, Terrence Mann, Kawhi Leonard, and Zubac, and then they've got second unit Russell, Norman Powell. They've got Kawhi, but he'll stay on. He won't get subbed off.
It'd be
in
two of
first
them.
rotation.
You assume two of those four would always be on the floor.
Yeah, and then PJ and Mason Plumlee. So they're pretty much saying everyone gets subbed off and Kawhi stays on. They reckon.
yeah, to be honest, forgot about Terrence. I really forgot about Terrence because he's a guy who's
He'll
in
start.
spurts
He'll
is
start.
quite good. Potentially he does start.
I think he'll
Because
start.
he's a guy who's sort of happy to just sit out on the perimeter, wait. He's actually a really good cutter, I think, from what I've watched. He picks his moments really, really well. He's happy to not have a big role.
Yeah.
He knows he has a limited role in this team. And sometimes when he's required, when those boys are injured or whatever, he will step up. So
He's a bit of Mr.
maybe he
Fix-It.
does. Russ to the bench. That'd look quite nice. There will be a period of
But that
times
means
where it's going to look pretty bad.
PJ will be also on the bench then. Unless you put James to the bench.
That's going to get murky. PJ coming off the bench. When does he come on? Who does he come on for? How many minutes does he play?
Yeah.
There's a chance that my preferred situation would be if he was like a Kevin Love sort of starter. Starts, plays max 20 minutes. And most of that might be down the stretch.
Yeah, I kind of agree with him playing 30 minutes if they have a really good centre or small forward or power forward. So then Kawhi can get off playing the main defender and he can play as a main defender.
And that relies on Zubac staying out of foul trouble, which
That's
is,
another thing.
again, always been a problem.
But
When
you got
Zubac
Mason
goes
Plumlee
off, we struggle. So, yeah.
It's interesting.
There's questions, but for you guys, there's a question, because obviously for me, I'm biased and I'm really high on this. I'm excited. Does this change your perception of the Clippers? Does this elevate them, for example, from like a playoff team to closer to a best of the rest home court? Would you say home court?
It's hard not to. Like, it's hard because we haven't seen many examples of this kind of thing working. The only one I can think of, you guys might don't back me up, is the Warriors with KD and Steph, who are like, they're just different, is it?
Yeah.
I think you have to. Just on star power alone, you have to say it elevates them. I'm still not convinced it's better than the Bucks, or in the East, obviously, the Bucks and
Boston.
Celtics. But, I mean, on name power alone, you have to elevate them, in my opinion.
Yeah, more star power. It's a star-driven league. So, like, more star power, the better, in my opinion. I do understand that system's probably won it the last couple of years, but they've still had the stars in the system. So, that's good. It's the Clippers, though. Like, without being too disrespectful,
It's true.
it's the Clippers, and it's a Kawhi-led team, which I know he was at Toronto, and he was a very good player, like their best player at Toronto. But let's be honest here, Kyle Lowry led that team. Nick Nurse led that team. So that team wasn't led by him. He scored the most points, but it wasn't led by him. So it's yet to be proven. He's not a LeBron James that can take any team to the Western Conference Finals or Eastern Conference Finals every year. So
Would you say, because last night I was having this conversation with Brody and his mate, we agreed that before this trade happened, we thought the only 4 locks to make the playoffs in the West were Denver, Phoenix, Golden State, and Sacramento. Would you make the Clippers, would you say they're a lock to be top 6 playoff team right now? Because of
you
this
got
trade?
5-team lock.
So they would be a 5th lock. Like separated themselves because the Lakers seem to have a couple of issues, or multiple issues to be honest. Other teams are in that logjam. The Clippers jumped. Teams like Minnesota, New Orleans, who they were stuck with.
They've definitely jumped them, and they're probably above them to start off with just because of the fact that Kawhi and PG are so good. Like, they're all-time great. Not all-time great players. They're really good players. But will they play? Like, I just can't guarantee they're going to play 60 games throughout the season. They could play 40 games.
But with Harden, I think only 2 of them have to play.
But Harden's no longer that difference maker. He's no longer Houston Harden. He is a hamstrung Harden. Like, he's just not the same Harden that we used to see. So
I think if 3 of Westbrook, Harden, PG, Kawhi play, I think they're a top 5 seed. If 3 of them play every night.
That's the big thing, is the sky is genuinely the limit for this team. There is potential for...
How many times have we said that, though?
Yes.
Yeah. And I know I'm getting ahead of myself because this is very fresh, and I'm just very excited to see how this plays out. Because like we've said, the talent... You look at it, again, all the time. On paper...
Yeah.
Should never say that, but on paper, far out, it's talented.
Yeah.
So,
100%.
but it's a Clippers team with a history of underperforming. So, I shouldn't get my hopes up, to be honest. Should just be, it probably will end up being, there's a chance it ends up just being another 44, 45 win team. But personally, I'd be surprised if it is that with the players we have.
You're better than the Warriors, and I don't think they're locked to make the playoffs. The Warriors.
Playoffs?
Yeah, as in the top 6. They could fall to the play-in seed type of thing. Okay. They got some struggles.
From what I've seen, they look strong. I know it's 3 games, 2-3 games. But wow, they look strong. They look strong.
What's kind of next? Do you want to keep talking about the Clippers, or do you want to go into? I got some mock trades of Joel Embiid now that obviously Harden's left. I don't know that Embiid will stay around for very long.
No.
There's some teams in the East. I've mostly focused on the East because I think they're more teams I'm interested in that could want to trade for him to make the jump. They're obviously, let's be honest here, Milwaukee, Boston, long way, Flemington Strait, then everyone else. So there's some teams, the Knicks. I've got 3 teams. The first one are the Knicks. So listen to this.
Okay.
They've got a swag of picks, a swag of first-round draft picks. So it'd be 5 first-round draft picks. 3 would be this year, the draft coming up, and 1's their own and 2's connected to other people. So I'm not going to really go who can connect them, but then 2 more first-round draft picks next year. They get Evan Fournier just for money, and then they get RJ Barrett also for money, but a good young player. That is it for Joel Embiid. Now you could add in like a Quickly in there too, or some more second and first-round draft picks because they've got a heap more. Which if the Sixers are trading Embiid, they're either going to get some good young talent or they're getting picks to set up some good young talent. Let's be honest here, they're not going for someone good. Would the Sixers deny that?
Yeah, they wouldn't take that.
Yeah, I
They
agree.
wouldn't take that.
Even if Embiid said, I'm out, get me out of here.
Again, context, knowing what other teams offer, etc. But that, to me, for the type of talent that Embiid is, doesn't scream. Especially the fact that 3 of those picks are the Knicks picks.
No,
they're not. They're not strong picks, are they? So, and I know it's a hypothetical. Obviously, you don't know where that's going to end up. But I just feel like the talent that they'd be getting back just doesn't warrant what you're getting rid of. There would be a massive market for Embiid.
I think there's a massive
market. There would be some Godfather offers out there for Embiid, I feel. So RJ wouldn't be enough.
I'll run through the other 2 offers straight away, and then you can decide which one you like the best out of all of them. Cavs is the next one. So this is interesting. This one might perk your interest, Tommy. Evan Mobley, Karis LeVert. They haven't got many picks, so it's just 2024 first round unprotected. So that's all they can give up. It's not much, but if you think Evan Mobley's going to be the next star with Maxi, you could be able to line something up there.
Well, problem is Jared Allen becomes useless, so I feel like they just piss him off too.
Well, you could even add him in the trade, and then they can trade him back and get more picks.
And Embiid.
And then the last one is for the Raptors. They've got a war chest to pick, so you can even do more than the picks I've said. So it'd be Pascal and Gary Trent Jr. And then pick 25, 26, 27, all first round picks, unprotected, tied to the Raptors. Out of all those, which one would you take? Would you take the budding star in Evan Mobley? Would you take
Pascal Siakam?
Pascal and some really good draft picks, hope it goes wrong? Or would you just take what the Knicks are giving you?
Siakam's 29. Nah. I think out of those, I think I'd take the Cavs one. I still don't think that's enough, though. But I just think Mobley, like, he started bad for a fantasy team, but he's going to be the next. He's going to challenge for Depoy this year or the next few years. I still don't think it's enough, though. I think I need one more player or first round pick.
They don't have any more picks. That's the problem. They have a lot of seconds, but not many firsts. So you can maybe chuck in some seconds or pick
like an
swaps.
Isaac, could they give like an Isaac a core or some shit? They need
Maybe.
something else. But I think Mobley, you're right. Mobley and Maxi, that's your future for a long time.
Yeah. And if you throw in Jared Allen there and then they trade on Jared Allen and get maybe
flip
a
him
second. So
yeah, I probably agree. I think that of all of those three, Pascal's a bit of a weird fit in terms of timeline.
100%,
All those.
yeah.
That's where it gets a bit murky. Mobley and Maxi, like you said, that's quite a nice duo where you can become a franchise destination. Is that what they say? Yeah, destination club, I guess, for other youngish players who want to come across to a team that's building.
Yeah.
So that for me would be, even though the draft picks aren't quite there, it's a genuine star of the future.
Yeah.
You'd say.
The Raptors have got draft picks like you wouldn't believe, so they could offer more, and some of them are unprotected. So you get some really nice draft picks, but you got to hope that the Raptors turn in shit, which could genuinely happen with Embiid just wanting to get out of Canada. The second thing with the Raptors, they might push really hard because they can't get stars in their door. You have to draft them or trade for them, so they'll be pushing very hard for them, I think. Yeah.
I mean, that's going to be a really interesting storyline to watch all season, isn't it? Teams are going to be waiting for Philly to put the filler out there.
Which we can talk about right now. He has his body language. Joel Embiid has been shithouse. To be like he's shit at the best of times, but it's been terrible of late, and I don't see that he wants to be there. To be honest,
Yeah.
So.
And I do not blame him because this Philly team, for God, how long's it been now? Multiple years, just has not had a stretch where they fly under the radar, can just play basketball, win some games.
Yeah, but
without some level of controversy.
Yeah, but he's invited the controversy.
At times, yes.
Likes to get on Twitter and start talking shit.
Yeah.
So.
Also, hasn't been the best fella in terms of standing up for his teammates, a.k.a. Ben Simmons.
It's an interesting one, isn't it?
Yeah, so let's leave that. But, all season this is going to be trade offers, mock trades, everything. Team's going to be waiting.
It'll be interesting what his contract is and see how long they got him for, but I think he's out the door.
Yeah, has to be.
All right, LeBron minutes restriction.
Didn't last
lack
long.
of.
Didn't last long.
Goodness me.
Lasted one game. Didn't he play like 39 minutes recently?
And this is the problem
Overtime.
with it. This is why, as soon as I saw it, I literally laughed. Because you can say this all you want, but when this Lakers team, they're clearly figuring things out. Their roster is so different to what it was last year. They're clearly having growing pains. And on top of that, AD in that first game was just absolutely obliterated by Jokic, but that's a different story. He's looked better in the next couple of games. In majority of games, LeBron is going to have to play probably all of the last quarter. So how does a minutes restriction work when he's playing 12 minutes in the fourth quarter and maybe overtime? I just don't see how they can afford for LeBron to be on a minutes restriction if they want to make the playoffs. I just don't see how that works, personally.
It seems like it's better just to play him 50 games and play him 50 38-minute games and then sit him for 30 games.
Yeah.
Like, it just seems better to do that instead of doing these 21
Hope
races.
that you win 30 or 35 of those 50 where he plays heaps.
Yeah.
And then trust AD, D-Lo, all those guys to step it up when he doesn't play.
They have looked better. Like, they have looked a little bit better, but they're miles away from any real contention. Like, if it wasn't the Lakers, there wouldn't be so much hype around this sort of team and saying, oh, look at the gets they got. Like, they're good, but they're not...
Yeah, and in fairness, they've lost to good teams. They've lost to who they play? Phoenix and Sacramento.
Sacramento, yeah.
So
But
they've lost to good teams.
Do you know Phoenix roster when they lost on there?
Oh, true, yeah.
No Booker, no Beal.
True.
Like, it was
That's a good point.
pretty depleted team.
Yeah.
So, it's not...
That's a great point. Yeah. And that Sacramento game, they were close. Tough place to win, but still.
Oh, come on, for 10 years it was
Yeah,
the
I
easiest
know.
place to win.
Would you see the NBA GM survey? I think they said Sacramento is one of the best crowds, or second or third best crowds.
Beating
In that playoff series, it was electric.
Yeah, it was good.
That
It was
was
good.
pretty sick.
The
So,
beam.
tough place to play. Now, finally.
Um,
Bandwagons.
In-season tournament. Have anyone read up on this? I keep...
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't really know
so
what's
this
going on with
popped up on my radar literally this morning. So that's why I added it to the doc. This
The
flew under the
courts.
radar with the courts.
Yeah, but the actual tournament, what's going on
Yeah.
there?
Oh.
I don't really
It's
know
just,
what's
it's
going
just like it's basically part of the season, but the two teams that play off in the final, it's an 83rd game for them.
So basically,
on. When will they play this game?
It's during the season.
So what they've done is, based off your record last year, they've got, rather than having, you know how in each conference there's divisions?
Yeah.
Rather than having 3 divisions, they've got 3 groups of 5 that are all as even as possible based on your record last year. They all play each other once in the month of November, I think it is, Tuesdays and Fridays in November. And that game, they wear City Edition, they look at this, they play on this court, all the graphics is like in-season tournament, and it's basically like a group stage. And then after that, I think it's the top team from each thing goes on to the knockout, and you just keep playing knockout games.
Okay.
And then the finals played in Vegas.
They're going to somehow schedule this in the season because
Yeah,
the games count
it's-
towards
So
the
the
season.
games are, a regular season game, but also it counts as in-season tournament. So the game's already scheduled, basically.
Yeah, for the first round, but then for
yes,
the second
so
round,
after that, they have to figure it out.
Yeah.
But yeah, basically why I put it in here was to just
yeah, the courts look nice.
get our thoughts on the pictures, because I just wanted to read a paragraph that I found in the article, which is, by late July, they had settled on the template. The bulk of the court is in one colour, linked to each team's City Edition uniform, with one central strip, the width of the key, running from baseline to baseline in another shade, meant to evoke an airport runway, and the idea that each group play game had the teams on their own runway to the tournament's Final Four in Las Vegas.
Yeah, no, shit.
So that, a little bit cringe, but for me, these courts look fantastic.
Looks cool.
They got the cup in the middle. They've got a cup in each key as well, if you notice it there. And some of these courts are just vibrant.
What's your faves?
My favourite would be, I love Boston.
I was about to say I love Boston too.
Boston's is like a dark green
I love that
and then
too.
a sort of skin colour.
Yep.
That's going to look sick with their uniform. Probably the other one that I'm really, really curious to see is Indiana. Like bright blue and yellow. Proper bright blue. It's like SpongeBob colours, for the listener. You can sort of think it's... I think those are sick. And Phoenix. Purple.
Nah, that one's shit.
Purple. You don't like it?
Nah, not really.
But
I
yeah,
like the Clippers one, the baby blue.
it's a
Clippers.
shame that the jersey sucks. That joins
is
with
it?
that. Yeah, it's awful. It's the colour of that strip in the middle there.
No,
Dark
surely the
blue.
baby blues.
Nah.
No.
So I believe that little strip is the colour of their jersey.
No.
I think. I don't know. I'm still a bit confused by this, but I
don't
just wanted
mind-
to get your
like the
opinions.
courts, I like the colours and what they've done. I wouldn't mind seeing them actually change up a little bit rather than just the colours being different. Like change up, like a Boston's known for that checkered court. You know, they have like I don't know what it's called, but you know, it's like the timbers,
pattern.
the pattern. It'd be nice to see that like a little bit more, like more about the team's history and the city than more just like the same colours on every single one or the same layout and just a different colour.
But it's very clever. This is why I love this, because you need to be able to differentiate. Like for you, for example, you didn't know what was going on with the in-season tournament. You might have watched a game in November and had no idea it was an in-season tournament game.
Yeah.
So this way you're like, okay, this is different. What's going on here?
Yeah.
And they'll have graphics everywhere, in-season tournament, group stage. This team's 1-0, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
That's why I love it. And some people might say it's gimmicky, whatever. Personally, it will be a great viewing experience. It just adds another layer to watching the game rather than just a regular season game. It's an extra thing to play for.
Yeah.
I reckon it's
For
great.
them it is.
True.
500k, whatever it is per person.
True. Yeah.
But no, it is good. It's good.
Yeah.
I like it. I like the
Pretty
courts. I like the colours. I like the
Again,
fact they
everyone
try
let
and
us know
schematic
what
it.
your favourite courts are. Like, go search them up. They've got all the pictures on... Yeah, they're out there on social media.
The Pals is the worst, and then
That's a shocking colour.
yeah, shit house.
Shocking colour. It's like that zombie chew colour. Do you remember that?
It is.
At Sharkies?
It is. Yeah.
Back in the day?
Lunch orders.
Oh,
It's a
hot
shit
dogs.
colour though. They should have done like it's not even near their jersey. Anyway, we won't bag the teams too much.
True.
What was the most surprising team, good or bad, during the week? Give us one quick one.
Oh, Memphis. They were garbage.
Oh yeah, they were pretty shit.
0-4. 0-4.
You got Raptors.
Raptors. They just lost to the Blazers without Simons on a back-to-back.
That was awful. That was bad.
Like,
Dude,
how?
I don't think either team scored 100. I think both teams scored less than 100 in that game.
He'll find out Toronto.
Because, yeah, this one...
91 to 99.
There you go.
The last quarter was 19 to 17.
Yeah, they got some stuff to figure out.
Like the Blazers, no Simons. So Grant 22, and Brogdon 21. Like,
Awful. Absolutely
Yeah.
awful.
yeah, it has to be the worst for me.
My surprising was I'm going to go with a good one because you guys got the bad ones.
Yep.
Mavs 3-0, beat the Spurs, easy win there. But Nets and Grizzlies, and then Grizzlies doesn't look good, but Nets are alright. And Lucas Magic, they kind of figured something out there considering after the trade they went to shit, and then they've brought everyone back and kind of looked half decent. So I know it's only early, but I
Kyrie
didn't
didn't play today either, and they won.
They won. That Lucas shot on the Spurs.
His
on the Spurs,
stats
that was
are
He's
incredible.
just-
taking a piss right now.
That was incredible.
His stats are nuts. Luke Corder must just be licking his lips.
Yeah,
My
gee, it was
goodness
hard.
me.
It was hard to play against. Don't worry,
Boy.
just dominating. But
Yeah, they've unearthed a gem in Derek Lively as well, that Mavericks team. They've done very well. Obviously, he still looks like a young boy who gets into foul trouble, but
Oh,
Skinny boy.
freaking
It's
Jaden
just-
Duran. Oh my god.
Oh, boy.
He's killing it.
he had a quiet one today, but gee whiz,
He
that
deserves a
hand
quiet
on
one.
my penis. Yeah.
oh no.
That first 3 weeks was some of the best basketball we've seen. Just 15 boards.
23 and 15 was like
Yeah.
averaging like 2.5 blocks a game.
Yeah, that's incredible.
in his second season, Tom.
He's 19. I didn't realize he was
19.
19.
He was young last year. Like he was the youngest by like 6 months.
yeah,
out of
well, I
any
didn't realize
drafting.
he was that young. I thought he was like,
Yeah.
21. I
Very-
thought he was like 21.
The fact that they gave minutes to Wiseman over him after they did the trade last year is disrespectful.
Disgusting.
Get him off.
And yeah, all I wanted is when it was fantasy wise, if he got to 30 minutes and he's playing 32, 33.
He's unearthed a gem there, TC.
He didn't play much today, but I think because OKC were playing all small ball, so he only played 23 today. But the last 2 games he's playing like 33, 34,
Oh.
and it's been taking the piss.
Can I give another surprising team? I had, before today's game, they were surprising me in a good way, was New Orleans. Their first 2 games, I had the notes here and I deleted them before, but I can sort of remember. They won their first 2 games,
Look,
and the 2 things that I noticed was they won with defense. So they conceded, it was 87 and 104 to 2 decent teams. So they did it with defense, and also they were a better sort of offensive team in quotation marks. It wasn't so much my turn, your turn. It wasn't Zion and Ingram just chucking up shots. It wasn't CJ chucking up shots. They were sharing the load, and it looked a lot better. And then they went and lost by 30 points to the Warriors today at home. So I decided to change my answer because that was the bad side of the Pelicans today.
yeah. BI didn't play today, but they still got absolutely smacked.
Yes.
They do have some ins. Alvarado's not playing. Trey Murphy III's not playing. So they got a few more ins to come in, but
Yeah,
they're an interesting one.
they are. Because it didn't change much from last year. Hey, Valanciunas is barely playing. Herb injured again. That's always going to be a problem.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
They got pieces. They got young pieces. They got good pieces, but
pieces.
how they put it together is going to be really interesting.
Yeah, 100%.
Give us one. Give us week 1 overreactions, team or player.
Go, Tommy. Go.
Got 2 here.
Okay.
Let's say Miami Heat to miss the play-in.
As that is your overreaction.
Whew.
Yes. That they are insanely bad.
So to be the 11th seed or lower, that's a big call.
Because they have played the Celtics and the Bucks. But they also got whacked by the Wolves.
And I believe Jimmy and Bam have already missed a game each.
Oh, don't tell me that.
Well, that's an interesting.
I've
Cause
got another line. I'll wait for you boys in case I don't want to steal yours. But I wasn't big on the Heat before the season started.
No, Jimmy's already missed a game due to rest.
Yeah, he's already been rested. That's full
but,
games.
today when they played Milwaukee, he didn't play the fourth quarter.
Really?
Sat on the bench. They were within 8 points with 3 minutes to go.
They
He
are
sat on the bench.
confident. They're 0-2 and they're resting.
They
To
played.
be fair, it's worked for them before.
They were down by 8 points
That's
and they
gotta-
didn't
that's gotta
play him.
make it.
He had no fouls, nothing. I don't know if he was injured or what, but they played Tyler Hero, someone I don't know, wasn't Bam because Bam was breasted. Nikola Jovic or whatever his name is. It was just an incredible lineup they played for the last 3 or 4
wow.
games.
Yeah,
within
okay,
8.
don't tell me that.
It's true. Tyler Hero was the only player on the court to play more than 28 minutes, and he played 42.
But they were within 8 points.
Yeah.
So why didn't they play their starters?
Yeah.
Again, could be another case of just get to the play-in, but it's after 4 games, that's ridiculous.
And did they almost sort of just throw the towel in thinking, oh, it's Milwaukee at Milwaukee. Just cop the loss.
Could have won.
Which is a bizarre strategy, isn't it?
8 minutes
If
to
you're
3 minutes.
close,
8 points with 3 minutes
just
to go.
go for it.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Why would you not?
Especially if they're not playing tomorrow. If it's not a back-to-back situation,
Oh, there's only
which
3
it
games.
isn't,
There's only
they're
3
not
games.
playing tomorrow.
It makes no sense. I was like watching the game. They kept calling times like, when is Jimmy about to come in?
Literally.
Check, has he got personal fouls? Not a single foul. I'm like,
That is
what the
so
hell?
weird.
Has he got an injury?
What the hell?
So I do not know what's happening with Heat.
Wowee. All right. Mine is that Kristaps Porzingis will be Boston's second All-Star.
He looks so good.
Because, I mean, I just don't think Boston's going to have 3 All-Stars, to be honest with you. And the way that he is playing, my goodness, he will be their second All-Star over Jaylen Brown.
Is he taking
in my
anything
opinion.
away from Brown right now? Like,
Yeah.
is Brown's stats gone
Absolutely.
down?
I mean, today, Jaylen Brown,
Had a good game.
oh my
Very
goodness,
good.
against the Wizards, made them his little BITCH,
Because
basically.
Porzingis only had to play 24 minutes today.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
I
it's the
watched...
Wizards.
But he was so good in that 24 minutes, that first half.
Yeah, and their first game against the Knicks, Brody and I sat... What was it? No, just I watched this whole thing. He bullied Mitch Robinson, scored 30 points, hit 5 threes, had 4 blocks. And while I was looking at his stats for this year, looked him up, he averaged 23, 9, and 3 last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
it's killing
he
it.
was amazing
If
for
he-
fantasy.
Fantasy, yeah.
If he puts up those exact stats, which I think he can, for Boston, guaranteed
You don't think he
All-Star.
loses a little bit?
Even if he averages 21 points, 8 rebounds, and a couple of blocks, All-Star.
And I think the best thing for him is he can manage himself a little bit throughout the season. I think he needs to play. Like, Wizards were so bad without him. I think he can afford to miss the odd game. I think he can prioritize health, getting to the playoffs. But
His best is just wow.
It's
Wow.
scary.
He's going to get
Last
so much recognition
Yeah.
on this Celtics team.
year, he's scary.
Yeah,
When you're playing winning basketball, it's so much easier to get
That's
recognition.
it.
Like,
it makes such a difference.
one of the commentators was like, oh, he's not playing meaningless basketball this year. And so he's probably
Yeah.
put out problems that are like far out. This
Yeah,
is
and
4
even
games in.
they are saying the commentators in that Knicks game said they've never seen him smile like this before. He looks like he's having so much fun playing basketball again, which it would be. You're playing for Boston you're on probably the best team in the NBA.
My reaction is Boston being the best team in the NBA. I just don't trust the system. I had them going into the season like the best team in the NBA, and then I watched them play. I'm like, they've learnt nothing from last year. They still don't play defense, and they chuck up a ton of threes. And I don't mind chucking up threes because the Warriors did that for 5 years, but they always took the twos. They always backdoor cut. They always made sure they scored a point on every possession. Yes, they could shoot threes, but that's because Steph Curry, you can be in Steph Curry's asshole and not have your own hand up, and he's still open. Like, he's a different beast to everyone else. You know what I mean? Like this,
Yeah.
I just think people are trying to replicate what the Warriors have done, and they're not realizing how good Klay Thompson and Steph Curry were, and how good backdoor cutting. I think they've lost the other things around 3-point shooting. They can keep chucking up threes. They'll start off hot, like they did last year in these incredible shooting splits. Then the back half of the year, they'll get tired. Teams will start locking up on defense, and they'll crumble again, just like last year.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
until they start playing defense and start taking 2-pointers, I don't really want to trust them, to be honest with you.
What do you think of Drew on this team?
I thought he was going to improve defensively, but it doesn't look like he has, in my opinion. Like, when I was watching him, I'm like, this isn't Ime Udoka's team that year they went to the finals when no one can get past him. Like, people are easily getting past him. And they want to because they want to play more possessions.
And
They want to speed up the game.
like you said, clearly it's very different to the Ime Udoka team. All the moves that they made in the offseason was, well, not all of them because they got Drew Holiday, but Porzingis was pure offense.
Yep.
They just want to be a freakish offensive team to counter a Denver, or if they meet someone like them, or Phoenix, whoever
Yep.
it may be, Milwaukee perhaps, who has Dame and Giannis. They just want to be a beastly offensive team, and they're leaning into it. There'll be times where it just doesn't click.
No.
Whether that's in the playoffs, that might be a problem.
They've got to hit like 17 threes plus a game to win games. Like they're going to live and die by the three, which teams have done, but like the Warriors always move the ball. Didn't work, they always moved the ball. They always were a really solid defensive team. Like, I think people forget the layers that the people like Warriors and the Spurs years ago, how good they were, and they weren't just this 3-point team. That's the thing that stood them out and made them different, but they were so good defensively. They sometimes pass up good shots to get great shots. I know Boston say, when you open, just shoot it. It's like, well, let's play a little bit. Let's get the ball in different hands instead of just grabbing and shooting. So I don't trust them until they start seeing something different. So.
And there's going to be an element of fatigue because sort of just looking at example, their box score versus Miami, their lack of depth is already showing big time. Tatum's playing 40-plus minutes. Jaylen Brown's playing so many minutes. If Porzingis gets into foul trouble or Derek White gets too, he gets too full on, like defensively gets into foul trouble, same thing. There isn't really a replacement. Al Horford's the only one off the bench who plays sizable minutes and contributes. So that is also going to be a problem if these guys are playing 40-plus minutes. There's fatigue that sets in eventually, right?
Yeah. Well,
especially with a team like the Bucks, who might be their biggest nemesis, who have a pretty deep roster.
And they've managed it. They manage their minutes well.
Yeah,
the Bucks, whereas
exactly.
Boston play every minute and every game.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't trust them.
Okay.
Just quickly before we move on, Miami Heat overreactions was a bit of a cop out. I've got a legitimate one here.
Okay.
I have been watching the Grizzlies a fair bit, and they haven't been the greatest team. But Marcus Smart controlled the offense today and looked very good. Marcus Smart to push for All-Australian. Not All-Australian, All-NBA. 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 Now, they are probably...
All-NBA!
No, All-Star thing. All-Star.
Whoa.
Now, they're probably going to be too bad. But there's been Bane controlling the offense the first few.
Yep.
Today it was Smart, and he put up scary, but 23, 5 and 9 with 3 steals. He won't get there because that would be too shit. But he will make a case for almost Australian again, All-Star honours. But they won't be good enough ultimately. But he will be he'll get votes.
He'll put up counting stats while Jar is out. What, today, in a losing team?
Dominated today. He ran the offense, did whatever he wanted.
Yeah, it looked good personally, but yeah.
He won't get there because their record will just suck. But he will get votes.
And without Jar and Steven Adams, they are just trash.
Correct.
Trash.
Yeah, but that's my overreaction. I think that's a bit more an overreaction than the Heat one. Heat one was just I didn't read in the context as well. I should have. But that's a legitimate overreaction.
Cricket World Cup. You
Yes.
two boys, obviously cricket players, very good at it.
I wouldn't say very good at it.
Fifer.
Oh, thanks.
It's been very good. Aussies doing well now. Finally.
Wowee.
What a turnaround. 10 days ago, we were the laughing stock, and now it's England.
When I tell you, some of the texts that I got from my mates back in the UK almost 2 weeks ago, geez, it's funny to look back on them now. Literally, we have flipped. Australia and England have flipped. England are 1 and 5, bottom of the table in a World Cup.
They're already on the plane.
They might fail to qualify for the Champions Trophy in a couple of years. Did you hear about that?
Oh, no.
Top 7 teams from the World Cup qualify for the Champions Trophy. They are currently 10th.
And the rest play off for it, or is only 17?
And then I believe there is either a playoff or that's just it. But yeah, the top 7 qualify automatically. So they will be facing a tricky road. But yeah, let's focus on Australia. Let's focus on
we've been good, Fletch.
the good stuff.
Early on in the tournament, we looked tired and defeated, and we've just somehow turned it around. And we should make the finals or the top 4 from here.
Yep, absolutely. We have a pretty easy... We've gotten through the toughest part. So we have a week off, play England, Afghanistan and Bangladesh. So should be 2 wins in there. If there's not 2 wins, something's gone wrong.
England probably beat us.
Yeah, they'll find a way, won't they?
But we should beat Afghanistan. Afghanistan's team a little bit because we can't play spin. They've got Majib, Nabi, and obviously Rashid. So Afghanistan scare me a little bit, but I think our bowlers should get them.
Yeah.
And then we'll beat Bangladesh. And then we'll make the top 4. So
for context for those playing at home, the Cricket World Cup is essentially 10 teams. You play everyone once. The top 4 goes through to the knockouts. Australia were 0-2.
Yeah.
Off a massive loss to South Africa. Sri Lanka batted first against us. We're none for 130.
Yeah.
It was literally looking like tournament over, and then we somehow win that game. And since then, we've registered batting totals of 367, 399, and 388. That is pretty ridiculous. I
Yeah.
believe the grade cricketer said it's the first team ever to register 350 runs or more in 3 games in a row in ODIs. These totals are getting pretty ridiculous, to be
I was
honest.
just say
Fletch.
when you back
This
in the
is
day,
nuts.
when you scored 300, it was insane.
It's game over.
And now it's like you have to score 300,
New Zealand were a bee's dick away from chasing 388.
which 388.
I'm sorry, but
unheard
that
of.
is absurd.
Unheard
So,
of.
but I want to talk about the Netherlands game.
Yes.
I mean, that's just unfair. Those poor Netherlands boys. Fletch, I don't know if you saw. Australia batted first, made 8 for 399. That is, I believe, the highest ever World Cup score. We proceeded to bowl them out for 90.
Oh, shit.
So we registered the biggest ever World Cup win,
Was that the Maxwell
309 runs. Glenn Maxwell made
140 balls.
or 40.
Smacking it.
You kidding me?
He came in with 10 overs to go. Apparently, it's the latest. It's like the latest 100 ever. So you're coming in with like the fewest balls left. It was incredible.
Literally, I got home from like my cousin's little family celebration thing, and he'd just passed 50. I think by the time it took me to put my ice in my glass, put the orange juice in there, and for the ice to melt, he was already on 100. I'm pretty sure. It was...
You're an idiot.
Anyway, yeah, but that was insane. And Adam Zampa, backspasm Zampa, is the leading wicket taker in the tournament.
Is he actually?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Absolute star after having probably the worst 2 games of his career in the first 2.
Been out of form.
Yeah,
He's out of form.
but as we found out, was due to injury and illness.
Yes.
So we'll give him a pass. But he's looking on. So Australia plays on Saturday night against England, which will be a massive game. And then Afghanistan and then Bangladesh. So that's pretty much what has occurred in the World Cup. I think that's sort of the extent of it. Fletch, just wanted to
The
let
favourites
you know
to
that
win it all is...
India.
India have already won it.
No.
It will take a choke from here.
Can I...
Although it is very India-esque.
South Africa will win the tournament.
Wow.
Yeah.
To be fair, the way Quinton de Kock's batting, Jesus.
Klaassen.
India, it will take a home tournament. It is very India-like to lose from this, though.
Yeah.
It is very India.
India don't win world cricket tournaments. It's a really weird thing. They just don't.
Yeah.
It's like the Atlanta Hawks, the good regular season team, shit the bed in the playoffs. Exact same thing with India. They probably won't lose a game in the group stages, so they're 6-0. They'll be 9-0, and then probably losing the semi to Australia, who comes fourth.
Yeah,
Watch.
it is very...
It'll happen.
They've had pitches go their way. It's their home tournament. They're going to find a way to lose. But realistically speaking, skill-wise, they're a level above everyone else. Right now, anyway.
Yeah. But yeah, that's it. We'll come back next week, and by then the group stage will almost be over, and then we'll start to hopefully lead off.
Australia, England's the big one.
That's a scary one.
They're already on the plane, England, so they've got nothing to lose. But then again, if they beat us, we can still laugh at them.
Best will make 100.
They actually will.
Yeah.
I can't. Did you see what happened? Did you see that, Fletch? That the same thing happened
Oh, really?
to Adil Rashid. Basically, the Sri Lanka keeper hit the stumps on striker's end, and yeah, they've been a laughing stock. It's been so funny.
It's good as an Australian, Fletch.
Yeah, it's been
to
so
witness. They are dead last behind Bangladesh and Netherlands. It's just
Netherlands.
great.
So good.
It's just
Yeah,
great.
so good.
Netherlands are just park cricketers, and
They
they've won
actually
2
are.
games. It's nuts. Anyway, MotoGP, Fletch.
I was going to go
Talk us
Premier
through
League.
it.
I'm
Okay.
Just going to go Premier League.
Ooh, suspense.
No, we don't need
Chelsea.
to.
Yes.
No, we don't.
Chelsea.
No, we don't.
Do you want to just explain to the viewers what's going on with Chelsea, Tom?
Well, we did talk about last week where Chelsea absolutely battered Arsenal, your boys, for 70 minutes
But
and found a way to draw that game.
it was a draw.
Robert
We got a point.
Robert Sanchez was wearing an Arsenal shirt. Our keeper was wearing an Arsenal shirt, and decided So he must have had a multi on or something. That was ridiculous. But yes.
The old Ivan Toney.
Yeah, although Brentford. Yes, on the weekend, I'm glad we were at a party. I'm glad I did not want to get to watch much of it because we were so bad.
He was talking this up all day as well as, Connor and I are going to sit in the corner and watch it together. And then they lost.
Connor watched it, you didn't.
Yeah, Connor watched more of it than I did, I'll be honest. I don't know what I was doing, but...
talking to his father.
Yeah, maybe. I was telling a few...
He asked me to write it on his forehead.
No, I didn't.
He asked me to write it on his forehead and take a picture.
Riley said, let's go grab a Sharpie. And Riley said, I'm going to write in your head. I didn't clock to me what he was going to write on my head. And he wrote my figures on my head. So then I was able to go up to as many girls as possible and talk them through it.
Sorry. Do I have something there?
So what was it in my head? 5? Yeah, it's been a wiggers I took today, love. But no, I did not.
My 6th.
You gave me my 6th in the middle stump out the ground.
Yeah.
No. I did not talk to Phil about it. But yes, we are bad. Can we talk about Ange-Ball instead?
Absolutely we can.
And I guess that segues into our other dot point is we got a legitimate title race now.
Yeah, well, we can talk about Tottenham for a bit.
About
Tottenham.
They're taking the league by storm, Fletch. It's grouse football, and we talk about it every week that they lost their best player, probably the best ever player they've had, and yet they're still playing unreal. Son and Maddison, they've not reinvented because he was always good, but refound the form of Basuma, who's becoming one of the best midfielders in the league, and yeah, like their defense is all no names, and they're doing it like they've just found a way with non-household names to be as amazing as they have been.
And the fact that it's happened straight away.
Yep.
You would have thought after 10 games they'd be struggling, but then it starts to kick into gear what Ange is trying to get across, and they have a resurgence. But the fact that they're 8 wins, 2 draws, 0 losses after 10 games, top of the league. Did I say somewhere that it's the best start to one of the best starts to a Premier League campaign ever?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Potentially, maybe a Tottenham specific stat, but the fact that they are above everyone else because they are first. That was a dumb thing to say, but they're top of the Prem and they are beating teams comfortably. Yep. That's what they're doing.
They're dominating.
Beating teams comfortably. So Arsenal's trying to keep up with them. Man City's trying to keep up with them. Liverpool's trying to keep up with them, but they're just not putting a foot wrong.
I've got one question.
Please.
Obviously, I know that the Premier League doesn't have a salary cap, so it can be quite disjointed in terms of teams and how much money they can spend and what players they can get. Have they just versed all the bad teams and are yet to verse the good teams?
Definitely an element of that. So I play a lot of Premier League fantasy, and the thing has been last few months get Tottenham players in because their draw has been pretty soft. In saying that though, they've still been very good. Like they beat Liverpool. They were very good against Arsenal. I'm not sure. I think it was a draw.
That was a draw. But at Emirates.
Yes, that's a good result. They played Chelsea this week, which are batter us. But they've been good. So their draw has been pretty soft. So the real test, they play City on the 4th of December, so in a month's time. But it is a little bit of that, but they've still been scarily good. Like they've been in their big games, they've stood up.
Going to beat who's in front of you.
Correct. So all eyes will be on that City game. And I am a little bit concerned if one of Maddison or Son get injured because their depth isn't the same as it used to be. They've already suffered injuries to a couple of their attackers. Son and Maddison have been very fit. And one of them, especially Son will get injured at some point. And he's scored a lot of goals for him. So I'm concerned that when he goes down, they will probably fall away. So it's whether can they hold on while he's gone? Because he always misses. He misses a month, usually a season.
Yeah, I wasn't aware of the ease of fixture, as you're a far better fantasy Premier League player than I am. You are aware of those things. But, that 100% is an element of that. But, like you said, they were arguably the better team against Arsenal, I would say, and probably should have won that game. They're going to smash Chelsea, I imagine, and they'll be 9 wins, 2 draws. So, do you think realistically they can win the league? Or do you think this is just a honeymoon period?
I'd like to say yes. I still concerned that if Son or Maddison go down, they won't go to water, but they'll drop points. I just think that City, and I guess you could say Arsenal to maybe a slightly lesser extent, have the depth. That I just think if Saka got injured tomorrow, it would hurt Arsenal less than if Son got injured tomorrow. But as leading on to that third point, we have a legitimate title race right now. We have three.
Absolutely.
We can put Villa in there as well. I probably wouldn't. But there's 5 teams within 4 points.
Yeah. It's pretty crazy, isn't it? The fact that Tottenham, Arsenal, City and Liverpool have lost 3 games between them.
I didn't realise Arsenal been that good because
Yeah.
they've probably found ways to win, but they haven't been.
Correct.
Haven't always been their best.
Correct. Yes.
So I was surprised to see them that they're ahead of City, but
Yeah.
we have a legitimate title race at least for now, and I was a bit concerned going to the season that if Arsenal didn't keep up, it would be boring. So
And clear signs of City. One commentator or pundit explained it that City's been working towards the treble for so long now, and they finally got it. There has to be an element of,
who cares?
okay, we did it. Now we can relax a bit. Even if you don't think that subconsciously, maybe you work 5% harder at training. You just ease off a little bit, and it's meaning that they're losing a couple of games here and there, which they wouldn't have done last year. Let's be honest. They wouldn't be in this position. They've been ruthless to lose back-to-back games for, I imagine, the first time in the Pep era for City. Pretty rare. So it's exciting for Tottenham and Arsenal fans that this City team looks like it's stuttering a little bit, I'd say.
And Harden does not look the same robot he did last year. He still would have probably win the Golden Boot, but he doesn't look the same rope. Last year just looked like he wasn't
ridiculous.
Real. He didn't look real last year, whereas this year he does look a bit human.
Did I tell you I removed him from my fantasy team?
A lot of people did. That's not uncommon, although that would have hurt you on the weekend when he scored a hat trick.
Didn't worry about that one, but my team was awful, so I had to wild card and move around some funds.
That's not completely uncommon. But I still think City probably win the league. But
Boo.
it's going to go down to the wire now, whereas before the season I didn't think so.
Love it. What is it, the Ballon d'Or?
Yeah, this is hotly debatable.
Is this the best player in football?
Yep.
Correct.
Who votes on it?
That I don't know. I'm assuming it's a bunch of
FIFA, probably.
FIFA, which is so
Rigged.
corrupt.
And how does a person playing in probably one of the worst leagues in the world win it?
Now, this is Marcus was like, how the hell this happened? So it's a team award, essentially. They go based off the team accolades. So it was Haaland versus Messi the whole way. And Haaland won the treble, but Messi won the World Cup. And they've clearly valued the World Cup higher. So that's why I've given it to Messi.
So you're going to be the best player in the team that wins the most? Or
Realistically, you could score 50 goals in a season. If your team does nothing, you won't win it. It's really based off how successful your team is. So you look at some of the shortlisted players. Julian Alvarez, who was nobody. He came off the bench last year until this season, was nominated in there. That's just because City won the treble. So it's very much team based. I'm not sure where you sway, Riley, but I love Messi, so I want Messi to win. But I like the storyline of he's winning his first World Cup, taking Argentina. They weren't the favourites; they were underdogs to some extent. So I like that storyline, but hard to top 50 goals.
For me, it had to go to Haaland. The year that he had, and Man put it perfectly, the amount of goals he scored was clearly the best player on the best team in the world. They won the treble. He was the best player. Scored, was it a goal a game?
Yeah, it was like 50-something
around,
goals.
Goal a game. Yes, Messi won the World Cup, and his team dominated in the MLS, but, come on. It's the MLS.
Yes.
Haaland was in the pinnacle, the best league in the world, dominated in his was his first season last year? Yep. That's a dumb question. First season last year, right? Yeah. So for me, it just had to go to Haaland. It caught me by surprise.
Yeah, I was a bit surprised too, but I guess I liked the World Cup element. But yeah, I probably would, stats-wise, Haaland over the course of the season is more impressive than Messi doing it over a month. Messi did it for a month. But I think it's a story, I guess a bit like the NBA awards, where it's a lot of storyline based. I think Messi bringing Argentina first World Cup. I'm not sure if Maradona won it, but I think the storyline of Argentina defying the odds, Messi winning it. Messi, and to be fair, in that World Cup, Messi got player of the game in every single game he played. So he got player of the match in every single game he played. I think he's the first player to score in every single stage of the tournament.
Yeah.
So he was so unreal in a World Cup win, I get it. So was hoping Messi'd win, but also, yeah, stats-wise, longevity over the course of the season is probably Haaland.
Just surprised there wasn't an element of recency bias in there as well, because the World Cup was 10 months ago.
Yeah.
So you would have thought that they would go with the recency bias of Haaland and what he's achieved over the last 6 months.
Potentially, yeah.
But
for sure.
I've been wrong many times.
Oh, before we go on, sorry. Fabrizio Romano breaking that Messi's going to win the Ballon d'Or before the night is one of the most stupidest things.
Yeah, that's poor.
Like, that's just, what's the point of watching? So basically, you know Fabrizio Romano?
No.
So basically, he reports on all the transfers.
He's the Woj of
So he's
football.
the Woj of soccer. But but he spoiled who was going to win it. So he said the morning of that Messi's set to win. What the hell's the point of watching?
Yeah, imagine 2 p.m. on the day of the Brownlow. Lockie Neal's going to win the Brownlow.
The hell's the point
Hell
of watching?
nah.
It just ruins it. Like, no one's going to watch. I'll tune in for the last second when Messi gets crowned. What's the point? There's no suspense. And he's so right about everything else. You knew it was going to be right. Like, you knew it wasn't a random guy saying it. You knew he was right because he's never wrong. Like, he is the most connected. He's probably more connected than Woj.
Betting companies would be furious.
Correct, because you're right.
Furious.
Not betting on Haaland. The number one guy in soccer just said Messi's winning it. So you'd have to take the market down because it wasn't a rumour, Fletch. It was a guarantee.
You'd see that, go straight to Sportsbet, chuck everything on Messi, and before they shut it down. Correct. And they can't. They don't have any proof to be like, well, it's fraud or you cheated. Well, you just put a bet on.
Betting companies would hate him, but I think that's a bit poor.
Doesn't say why would the person that gave him the information, like, why?
I don't know.
Like, just
money, maybe. Would you reckon there's some monetary gain?
I have no idea.
Who knows? But
No
it's
idea.
just a bit shit.
Above our pay grade.
Yeah.
all right then.
MotoGP, Fletch?
All right. Now, for people that probably not many people watch the MotoGP, but I loosely follow it because it's hard to watch, like the F1. Now, the MotoGP has overtaken, in my opinion, F1 as a greater show on wheels. It is easily way better. And it's coming to the last 3 races of the year. There are 3 more races. And the title is well within the reach of 2 people, Joe Martin and Pecco Bagnaia. They're incredibly good. Pecco is last year's champion, but unfortunately half of the season has got injured and doesn't quite have the raw pace of Martin. And Martin is killing it, but he's a young guy. I think he's the second year in the MotoGP, and he can't handle his pace. He's almost too quick for his own benefit. Like, he's so quick he just burns through tyres. But it's incredible to watch him ride because he's so much faster than him at the moment. The only problem is it was wet at Australia, and he chewed through his tyres and fucked himself over basically. And then on the weekend the week before that he was 4 seconds ahead again, and then lost his front end and crashed when he didn't need to crash. He didn't need to push, but he kept pushing. So twice he stuffed up and was pushing, and instead of being ahead probably by 50 points in the championship, he's actually behind 13 points. And on the weekend he managed his tyres finally well, avoided a little scare or massive scare with 2 people, Pecco Bagnaia and also Brad Binder, chasing his ass down for 27 laps, I think it was. And on the last lap, he overtook, got first place position back, overtook, and just been across the line. So he's decreased I think it's 13 points. He's decreased to 2 now. There's 3 more races to go. I think it's 37 for a win and 23 for a second. So
it's a big gap.
A couple more wins.
Yeah.
He's right in it. Couple more wins. He's right there.
Oh, sorry. I mean, like the gap from first to second. That's a big.
It's a big gap.
That's a big incentive. I mean, that sounds stupid, but yeah, far bigger than in the F1 where it's 7 points difference.
Yeah.
14 points difference is huge.
So if you don't watch much MotoGP, I'd go back and recommend watching Australia, and then Thailand, which is the last 2 weeks. Australia was incredible. Martin was that far ahead of anyone. It wasn't funny, and yet with about 12 laps to go, you could see he was struggling. Burned his tyres out. It wasn't until the last lap, turn 4, 2 people dive-bombed him, got past him, which one was Pecco. So instead of getting this 20-point advantage or gain, he then lost all the points. He went from first, on the last lap, he went from first to 5th. And then on the weekend, he finally made all his wrongs and managed his tyres better, kept his pace instead of just going balls to the wall. And Yeah, got the win. So it's pretty incredible at the moment.
I am a self-proclaimed MotoGP novice. Watched my first race on the weekend, coincidentally, because it was on at a good time. Because I believe it's same as F1. It's always on at a really bad time.
Yeah, well,
but
that
it was
European time.
7 p.m. for us on the weekend. Dad and I sat and watched it. I have no idea any of the names, what bike's good, etc. Dad explained it all to me. And seriously, like Tom, anyone out there who just wants to, for half an hour, 40 minutes, watch some serious motorsport, go and watch MotoGP. Because honestly, and you are so right, it is far more entertaining than Formula One. Obviously, Formula One has a lot more hype around it and a lot more personalities.
Yeah.
You know that because of Drive to Survive, etc. But my goodness, it was so much fun because it's so close. So much overtaking. Looking at the race on the weekend, there was maybe half a second separating first and third. They were literally right behind each other for the last 15 laps of the race. It is so much fun.
There was 4 guys battling out the weekend. Martin was first for the whole time. Binder on a KTM dive bombed him with about 3 laps to go and got past him and then led for about a lap and a half, and Martin got back in front, and then Pecco almost went all the way around the outside of both of them on turn 2 or 3, or no, the second last turn, almost rode just around the both of them, which was incredible to watch. I actually think he missed his breaking point, but if he went around him, that was just going to be insane. I don't know if you remember that move. But if it had a Drive to Survive, they did something like that.
Oh, yeah.
This thing would pop off because, as you said, the personalities, they're quite more... In the interviews, it's a bit hard to understand them because they're not fluent in English, but they're more loose than F1 people. Like, they're not quite got that PR trained about them, so they're quite loose. Jack Miller's quite loose. I don't know if you watched the interview on the weekend, but in Australia, there was about 5 F-bombs in the podium things. Like, it was just crazy. So they are a little bit more... I guess you got to be friggin' almost brain dead to drive the bikes the way I do.
Dad's always said they're genuine. F1 drivers are crazy, but MotoGP drivers are insane. They are next level. Yeah.
So, 3 races ago, I would highly recommend it if you can. Turning it on. Malaysia is the next one.
I was going to say, what are you doing Sunday? 5 p.m.
Is it Sunday? Oh, I'm watching it.
Yeah.
I'm watching it. I'm sitting down to watch it. If you want to come over and have some beers.
I was going to say.
It is the greatest show on earth at the moment, in my opinion. Just how close it is and what's going on. Just, it's so good.
You're welcome to come to ours. I'm sure Dad will want to watch it. You're welcome to come to ours.
All right. That sounds like a date. You there, Tommy?
I'll probably be there, likely.
We can explain it to you.
Yeah.
Because I've watched it. I did not watch it on the weekend, but I've watched a few of them. Because they were often at 10 o'clock before the F1 at 11.
Yeah.
So...
And you don't really... Like, for me, Dad sort of explained that Ducati is just taking the piss.
Yeah.
But it didn't really... You don't really have to know that. You can just watch purely for the spectacle. You don't really have to worry about who's good, whatever. If you just wanted to watch it for overtaking, you can.
Is Marc Marquez still racing?
Yes, he is. He broke... If I want to give you a synopsis.
I knew it was
broke
injured.
his hand and all that, and that's like a really bad injury or something. But the Honda's an absolute piece of dog shit. But he is riding it like you wouldn't believe. But he's moving to a Ducati next year.
So I know he's one of the best.
He's moving to a Ducati next year, so watch out from next year. Put your money on him now to win the championship, because the way he rides that Honda, if you put him on Ducati, he's going to tear it apart.
Is he?
8-time world champion.
I know he's amazing.
Yeah.
Yes, I know
He was riding the arse off that thing on the weekend. How he finished... What, you finished probably 6th?
Yeah, I think it was about 6, yeah.
Yeah, in that thing. Crazy.
Don't take the piss. His Honda teammate, I don't think he's finished inside the top 12. And he sometimes gets it in the top 6. So
unreal.
Honda's like... Honda just laid out the checkbook to him and said, just play Simon. So he's like, nah, you just got a shit bike. So,
yeah.
But, yeah. Watch the MotoGP.
Okay.
It's so good, man. So good. So, is that it? That's the end?
I would say the only thing for Tom, just to explain Ducati's dominance this year in the constructors.
Yeah.
Ducati is first in the points. They're way ahead, 589 points. But what I want to draw your attention to is they have 14 of the 17 wins so far and 35 podiums. The next highest is 6.
Jesus.
Yeah, but there's a lot more Ducati. So instead of being like Alfa Romeo and all that, like every
2 of each.
Yeah, but instead of being each team has a brand, if that makes sense, like a car brand. Someone's like just a random company and they just ride a Ducati though. but it has nothing to do with Ducati. But they just pick Ducati as their bike, so it's a bit different in that. So
There's
sort of
only
circumstance.
5. There's only 5 different bikes.
Okay.
Yeah, but if for Mark Marquez, I thought about this earlier. It'd be like he's riding for F1 context. What's the second Red Bull team?
AlphaTauri.
He's like riding an AlphaTauri right now, and he can get it inside the points.
Is there an even number of Ducati to non-Ducati?
No.
So there's more Ducati than the rest.
There's a factory team Ducati, and then there's some that are just pick Ducati because they want to ride it,
Yeah.
but they don't have the latest model of Ducati. They have last year's Ducati. If that makes sense.
So they can't have the recent one. They can only have the previous one.
Yeah, but then there's Aprilia, KTM, Suzuki's left, but then there's Honda and Yamaha. That's the only other brands there are.
Okay.
But not everyone. If you're a private team, so if you're not sponsored, if you're not like affiliated with the brand, you ride Ducati because they're so good.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still like it still works out. Other teams do win at times.
Yeah.
but
And
it's Ducati heavily dominated.
Tommy, watch it, mate. So good to watch.
5 o'clock.
And it's short. Goes for 40 minutes. Half an hour, 40
All right.
minutes.
I'll have to tune in.
Yeah, baby.
So we have to go to the Phillip Island one year. That's sick.
There it is.
You have to watch it.
Weekend away.
Nice.
Cute.
That is cute.
Well, there it is.
MotoGP next year. Hook us up with some tickets. We'll come down. And
Please.
Sponsor us.
Please.
We'll do a vlog there.
yeah, we'll do a vlog.
Oh, there you go. Well, there it
We'll
is.
promote it.
The week that was.
The week that
Our
was.
first ever week that was.
It's a bit long, but should be right. Just a bit.
That's all right.
Yeah.
That's fine. All good.
There's timestamps make it better.
It's week 1 of the NBA. It's all good. There's lots going on, you know.
Well, if we didn't have the James Harden trade to start it, like
Exactly.
an hour before we got in here, it would have been fine.
And we just wanted to talk about Australia doing well in the World Cup.
Yeah,
That's
nice.
fine.
There we go.
All good.
Good to hear your voice, Tommy.
It's like you don't hear it usually. But
Yeah, you don't shut up normally.
I could talk underwater.
That's
good
a
work
good
from
one.
you. Good from you. Work from you, Riley.
Thank you very much.
We weren't
This
bad
is
tonight.
this is a fun episode for me. I'm
Good to see
enjoying
you.
this.
Good to see you warming up from England.
Thanks, man. Oh, hang on. Hey, I'm too trusting. I thought that was something you said nice. That was mean.
No, good work. So tell a friend.
Tell a
There
stranger.
you go, Tommy.
Tell anyone about us. Anyone you see fit. I know you're looking at me. We're not mentioning it.
Anyone you think is fit? Is that what you said?
Oh, yes. You tell who you think's fit too. Yeah, I'd do that. I know you're looking at me, Fletch.
Yeah, I'm looking at you. What's wrong with that?
He's waiting for you to wrap up.
Yeah.
I might finishing it. No,
You
we
can
just
if you want to.
did. We just did.
Okay.
Thank you all for listening. Stay tuned for the next week's episode.